The sky is gray, the weather is wet. A perfect time to plant and ponder trees. Yes, when the trees are naked, they're dormant, and that's the easiest time to plant. Fall to spring is perfect, and winter is wonderful as long as the temperatures are mild. Hi, I'm Anne Jaeger for the Oregonian Homes and Gardens of the Northwest. Last week, we got expert suggestions about which trees to plant. This week, we get our boots and our hands dirty and learn how to plant a tree properly. Oh, Kym, here, let me do that while you explain how planting practices have changed in the last few years. This is Oregonian garden writer Kym Pokorny, and she's spent years researching trees.
Well, be my guest. Well, first of all, you really want to be sure that you plant a tree correctly. It's a very permanent plant, the most permanent plant in your garden. So if you plant it correctly, it's going to grow faster and live longer. In the past, the rules have been dig a huge hole, add some compost, and then plant the tree. Nowadays, through research, we found that that's not a good idea. What will happen is the roots will go out to the point where the native soil is and then just stop. Sort of like a patio container.
So it's gotten used to all this really nice, loamy soil, and then when it gets out into my clay, it says, don't want to go there.
Stop. So now what we want to do is not add any compost. Of course, the good news is that the hole is going to be a lot smaller, and you definitely don't want to have the tree go any deeper than where the line on the pot.
How much more do I need to dig?
Until I tell you to stop.
Oh, okay. Planting a tree does involve some digging. If your container is 16 inches across, dig a hole 2 to 3 times that wide. You want a wide hole, but it should be the same depth as the container. Of all of Kym's suggestions for trees under 25 feet, I picked my favorite, another one. It's called Akusa dogwood, and the variety name is Heartthrob. And oh, it is perfect for Valentine's Day.
Well, you've chosen a really good one. It does. Most dogwoods have light pink or white flowers, and this one does have amazing darker red flowers. And the reason I like it so much is that it probably gets more bloom than any other tree in springtime. Plus, it is followed by these nice red berries that are about, a little bit smaller than a strawberry.
You know, some dogwood trees get some kind of a virus, an anthracnose type of thing, isn't it? And
exactly.
So, but this
one is disease resistant, so it really is a perfect tree to plant for spring bloom.
We've picked a place where the dogwood can get part shade, but it will take full sun, and its roots want very good drainage. We've dug a big hole wide enough to encourage the roots to reach beyond its canopy. You know, Kym, the trickiest part is getting the tree out of the container.
That's for sure.
I have a hard time. What do you suggest? Turn it on its side?
Turn it on its side and then tap, fairly hard all around the container to loosen up the soil and the roots to make it easier to get out of the pot.
All right, and you don't ever want to hold on to
That's right, exactly.
So I'll hold on to the pot.
You just this is really a two-person job. You want somebody to hold it while you slide it out of the pot. And then, if you notice, this is a pretty good root ball, but if you notice that it's very wrapped around, don't be afraid to prune the roots. A lot of people don't want to cut them, but just sort of cut them up in 4 different places and loosen the roots a little bit.
So that the roots won't strangle the tree.
Right, exactly.
Move the tree by lifting the root ball. Do not handle the tree by the trunk or branches. They'll break. Place the tree into the hole you've dug and check the soil depth. The tree should be just as deep as it was in the pot, and this is a 2-person job. Add more soil below the tree if you notice that it sits lower than the soil depth around it. Now we'll put that same soil back into the hole without adding amendments. The soil should be firm and without air pockets, but do not pack it too tightly. Now, really important, you want to keep the soil away from the crown of the tree, and the crown is where the roots join the trunk, so keep the soil away from that.
And Anne, another thing, it used to be common practice to stake a newly planted tree, but that's really not a good idea. You want the tree to develop strength on its own. And yes, if the wind goes back and forth, it will too, but it's going to just strengthen it. Unless it is a very small sapling, maybe to get it off to a good start, you might want to put 2 stakes on either side of it, but not tightly.
Water the soil thoroughly, then spread about 3 feet of mulch around the tree to keep the roots cool and moist. Water it about every week religiously for the first year. Let the hose drip for about an hour once a week. So Kym, you sure helped me make short work of that job. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I cannot wait to see what the flowers look like in the spring.
Well, I'll be sure to come back and check up on you. Oh, I mean the tree.
You want to make sure that I'm still watering
Absolutely.
it, right? Oh.
Well, and enjoying those blossoms.
Right, okay. For the Homes and Gardens of the Northwest, I'm Anne Jaeger. I hope our paths, our garden paths, cross again soon. Wow, look how it just branches
Oh, it's
right
really
out.
a good
Yeah.
shape, isn't it?
Oh, this is exciting.